Today, we are going to learn the secret to becoming mentally strong. Now, let's begin. What's the secret behind unstoppable mental strength? How do some people persevere through adversity while others crumble and lose hope? Many people desire mental strength without understanding what exactly they're looking for. Mental strength has a variety of applications, but at its core it can be summed up in a single word: resilience. You need resilience to overcome stressors, resist distractions, and pursue lofty goals. You need resilience to bear the burden of your failures and pursue a better version of yourself. But where does resilience come from? Imagine this. After years of hard work, your dream, which you believed in with every fiber of your being, falls to pieces, leaving you feeling like a spectacular failure. No matter how tough you claim to be, a loss like this devastates your mind and motivation. Your plans, goals, and dreams were ripped out from under you, leaving you without a purpose or a sense of direction. Everything you counted on, everything you worked for, is gone. Now, you're unsure where your life is headed. This vicious downward spiral has claimed millions of dreamers. One mistake quickly devolves into a cavernous rough patch from which they never escape. Buried under the weight of their failures, they have lost hope and confidence. In many cases, they've come to believe success is no longer an option, that they've squandered their last chance to find happiness. But a resilient mind never stays down for long. People with mental strength experience sadness, regret, and frustration, just like everyone else. But against all odds, they summon their courage and willpower, and they steer their life in a new direction. In the wake of every failure, they discover confidence and a new purpose, challenging themselves to dream bigger than ever before. Of course, shedding the weight of your failures isn't easy. When you've lost your place and purpose, you become trapped under a mountain of your own creation, built out of your doubts, insecurities, and fears. So, how do you find your way out? When failure interrupts your success and changes your expectations, how do you survive and prosper? How do you set yourself free? Mental strength, like any skill set, requires time, practice, and experience. There's no way around that. There are, however, techniques you can use to improve your mindset and strengthen your resilience before failure strikes. Peter Clough and Doug Stracharczyk, two psychologists specializing in mental resilience, discuss several powerful techniques to strengthen your mind. According to Clough and Stracharczyk, each of these techniques revolves around mental control. Before you can bounce back from failure or persevere through adversity, you need to control the way you think. That means eliminating negativity, soothing your anxiety, and transforming self-deprecating narratives. Each of these skills relies on your ability to filter information, also known as attention control. Imagine you're sitting down at your desk, getting ready to work. Each time you open your computer, fill out a spreadsheet, or sift through emails, you're exercising attentional control. You're creating a mental filter which lets useful information in and keeps useless information out. For example, when you're working on a spreadsheet, your brain chooses to ignore irrelevant stimuli, like your dog barking in the backyard or your neighbors chatting outside your window. But at any time, you can choose to shift your focus. Maybe you want to eavesdrop on your neighbor's conversation. Even though you're still looking at your computer, you're filtering in and out different sets of stimuli. Your brain exercises attentional control every single day, but it's often unconscious or out of your control. Many people have trouble working in noisy or crowded rooms because they can't ignore or filter out unnecessary information. Resilient people, on the other hand, possess strong, attentional filters. Even in a room full of distractions, they can tune out useless information and perform at their best. Think about professional athletes who play and perform in high-pressure, highly publicized situations. They're constantly bombarded by irrelevant, distracting stimuli. Fans booing from the stands, opponents trying to get under their skin. If they reacted to every inference, they'd never be able to perform the way they do. That's why coaches and trainers teach attentional control to their athletes. They're building mental resilience by sharpening their cognitive filters. When it's game time, professional athletes block out everything but one central goal. They must perform. At that moment, nothing else matters. You may not be a professional athlete. You may not be surrounded by lights, music, and roaring fans every day of your life, but you do have distractors standing in the way of your performance and productivity. Like a professional athlete, your performance depends on your ability to filter unnecessary information. When a project fails, a relationship ends, or an opportunity disappears, you will encounter mental obstacles threatening to derail your success. Self-defeating mindsets, petrifying fears, pessimistic narratives. Each of these distractors, like the crowd booing you from the stands, makes it harder for you to improve or recover. If you pay attention to these vicious distractors, your failures may overwhelm you, crushing you, pushing you closer to rock bottom. But attention control and a strong filter can rescue you from the lowest points in your life. By silencing your fears, you can reorient your thoughts toward success, redemption, and self-improvement. In other words, you're changing your personal narrative, replacing a destructive story with one that's positive and empowering. With practice, you can transform every catastrophic failure into a priceless learning experience. Mental strength, or mental resilience, describes your ability to persevere through difficult situations, like professional failures and missed opportunities. To overcome those obstacles, you need to exercise attentional control. How? By developing a filter for useless information and unhelpful ideas. This filter tunes out distractors and dispels negativity, but more importantly, it gives you a light at the end of the tunnel. A reason to persevere through hardship and pursue your dreams. But how do you exercise control over your thoughts? What habits and techniques can you use to build mental resilience? There are a wide variety of tools at your disposal, ranging from quick, daily exercises to significant lifestyle shifts. We will discuss two simple and interesting techniques, which anyone can weave into their daily routine. The first exercise was developed for a 1935 experiment by psychologist John Ridley Stroop. The test, known as the Stroop test, explored the brain's interpretation of congruent and incongruent sensory information. For example, imagine the word green written in green and red letters. When stimuli are congruent or matching, your brain reacts quickly and efficiently. But when stimuli are incongruent, your brain gets confused. It struggles to make sense of those contrasting stimuli, slowing your reaction speed and increasing the likelihood of error. But there's another process at work here. To complete the Stroop test, your brain must exercise attentional control. You must shift your attention from the colors of the words to the meaning of the words. In other words, you must block out confusing stimuli, like incongruent colors, to improve your reaction time. The Stroop test is a short and simple exercise which eats up only a few minutes of your time. But with practice, this brief experiment can sharpen your attentional control. As your reaction time improves, your cognitive filter will too, providing more and more control of your psychological state. The next technique takes an entirely different approach to mental resilience. Instead of training your brain with testable scientific exercises, this technique builds mental strength by transforming your perspective. When you feel defeated, lost, or insecure, it's tempting to complain about your bad luck. Most people wallow in their losses, swimming in a pool of self-pity, but there's an easy way to get your life back on track. There's a reason you wallow and complain. It's because failure teaches you to despise your shortcomings. You criticize your work, your environment, and your misfortunes. You attack your weaknesses and daydream about being someone new. But it's this negative mentality that empowered your hopeless, self-deprecating narrative. But you can change the way you think. It all starts with a list. 5 items written down on a sheet of paper, each one an opportunity for you to grow as an individual. After experiencing failure, make a short list containing 5 things you would improve upon next time around. If you had a second chance, what specific changes would you make? What do you know now that you wish you knew then? This exercise encourages you to perceive your failures not as mistakes, but as learning experiences. At the same time, it trains you to ignore destructive sentiments while fostering a mentality centered on self-improvement. This is not an exhaustive list of every technique at your disposal. If you want to become mentally stronger, I encourage you to explore different techniques on your own, because each of these techniques, from team sports to data-driven tests, builds your unshakable resilience. Each technique gives you the knowledge and confidence to persevere through failure, so long as you remain active and consistent. Whatever routine you build for yourself, know that mental strength boils down to a single truth. If you can control your attention, you can drive your life in any direction you choose. You can't turn back the clock. There's no guarantee every venture in your life will find success, but over time, you will cultivate the strength to overcome each obstacle and learn from each mistake. By the way, if you found this helpful, don't forget to show some love. Tap the like button and also subscribe to our channel. Comment below on what you want to see next. See you in the next video. If you stop watching porn, you will have 10x your income. You will meet the woman of your dreams, and you will be surrounded by people who will strengthen you, and you will be bigger and more powerful, healthier, more innovative, and more productive than ever before. Is this all happening because of nofap? Let us describe. A gorgeous new German car with all of the wheels and a magnificent interior, a driver's seat, an engine, and a trunk that automatically shuts down. All of this is comparable to your entire purpose, drive, aspiration, principles, imagination, and efficiency. But first, let us ask you something. If it contained no gas and you emptied it onto the ground every day, will it be eligible to get you where you wish to go? Certainly not. And you and nofap are doing the same thing. You see, you have all the urge and internal qualities to reach out and attract that girl, to build that business, to pursue that dream, to have all the motivation. But how do you get to your destination? If you spend all of your time in front of a computer screen every day, in the choice of scrolling through Candy Crush or reading a book, you will choose Candy Crush all day, man. Whether you meditate or swipe down the Instagram, you're starting to admire these girls every time. So each time you throw up in that laptop and put your pants on your legs, you're wasting your man gas on your hand, and you are wasting it, and you'll never get where you want to go. Take a look, man. Meditation, cold baths, working out, eating a balanced diet, and reading are all beneficial. However, if you do not feel like doing it, you will not do it. Once you fall victim to the lure of porn, it will begin to sap your self-belief by greatly reducing your dopamine levels. You will not feel energized or happy, but rather unhappy as well as depressed, and an individual who is always sad and depressed lacks self-confidence. Nofap is required for your personal development and self-promotion as a man. Concentration is necessary for everything you do in life since it keeps your attention from drifting in all directions. Your concentration will improve, and you will begin to pay close attention to minor details. If you are having difficulty with a book, you can begin a nofap challenge right now. You continue to fail. It doesn't happen because you have not yet perfected some tactic that you'll find in a YouTube video. It isn't a lack of willpower on your part. They aren't the factors. You see this as you fight the urges with willpower over and over. Masturbation is frequently mentioned when a man turns adolescent. According to existing medical literature, current research indicates that masturbation is safe and appropriate when done in moderation. However, an increasing number of men believe that masturbation is harmful to their health. Those who assume in abstaining claim a lot of the same advantages as those who masturbate. Consider a rubber band. As you pull back and back and back while fighting, it becomes more difficult to pull and eventually snaps. and you relapse every time. So, what are you going to do now? What should you do to eventually quit this thing for good to accomplish everything? You would like to fill up your gas tank without wasting it. Let's start with the fact that you don't want to quit. What exactly does that mean? Of course, you want to give up. That is why you are watching this video right now. You want to give up. What we mean by want is as if your existence depends on it. You don't want to quit, but you're considering it. You are aware that it would benefit you, but not significantly, where you're desperate to accomplish it because you would go to any length to achieve this goal. There are different guys from all over the world who have not given up. It's obvious. You change for two primary reasons, either through inspiration or desperation. But there is this common way that exists between the two, where you're just like, I'm safe. I sort of not enjoying what I'm doing. I sort of don't like my dating. There are different guys from all over the world who have not given up. It's obvious. You change for two primary reasons, either through inspiration or desperation. But there is this common way that exists between the two, where you're just like, I'm safe. I sort of not enjoying what I'm doing. I sort of don't like my dating life. I sort of like my job. But you're safe. And isn't it scary to try something new? And facing that fear as a man is extremely difficult. Only one way you can truly transform is to reach a point where you realize that proceeding with this lifestyle will result in you down a road of isolation, shame, and instruction to waste your life, or that if you accomplish this goal, you will accomplish every dream you have. When you ask some people what they want to achieve in 5 years, they're sort of saying, I don't know, like I just can't tell. If you are not seeing the goal precisely right in front of you, you're never going to hit it. Does that make sense? How would you intend to keep yourself motivated in your appearance? You've tried and working alone does not work. It's like attempting to pull yourself up through your bootstraps. It's not technically possible. Attempting to bite your teeth or look into your own eyes, unless you're going to look at yourself through the thing right now, but you get what we mean. So take a deep breath through your nose, not your mouth, right now. Do you want to give up? We are talking 10 out of 10. Then you need to break this habit. Are you ready to get rid of the mediocre demon that pulls you back to that computer every time you feel empty, depleted, and worthless? Do you want a lovely bond with independence in your life, confidence, win-win relationships with people, and 10x the motivation to accomplish everything you're expected to do in this one life? Then let go of this habit. That's all. Let us know in the comments if this worked for you or if you're going to try it. And until next time, thanks for watching.